Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk. Listen daily as we uncover great books from around the world for you. Today we're exploring the book called Democracy in America. This work established Tocqueville's reputation and remains one of his most significant contributions. The book's widespread influence earned 36-year-old Tocqueville election to the French Academy, its youngest member ever. Democracy in America remains foundational in political science due to its incisive analysis of American governance. Before delving into the content, let's examine the book's historical context. This background is outlined in the preface. Though born into French aristocracy, Tocqueville held liberal political views, sympathetic to revolution. The July Revolution of 1830 overthrew the Bourbon monarchy, establishing the Orleans dynasty. As a Versailles magistrate, Tocqueville clashed with his family over swearing allegiance to the new regime. He and Gustave de Beaumont secured government permission to study American prison systems, a cover for political research. After bureaucratic hurdles, their request was approved through family connections. The prison reform mission masked their true purpose, studying American democracy in action. The friends departed France, April 2, 1831, arriving in America, May 9, for their 9-month investigation. They concluded their American journey on February 22, 1832. After years of reflection, Tocqueville published Volume 1 in 1835 and Volume 1 in 1840. The work transcends mere political description, comparing American and European systems to find solutions for France. Tocqueville presents America as an ideal model for European political reform throughout the text. Now let's examine the book's content through 3 key perspectives. First, what constitutes American democracy? Second, what inherent flaws did Tocqueville identify in American democracy? Third, what institutional safeguards exist to mitigate these democratic shortcomings? With this context established, let's examine Part 1, the nature of American democracy. First, we must understand the origins of America's democratic system. Tocqueville begins by analyzing 3 fundamental factors shaping American democracy. The first factor is geographical. America originated from 13 British colonies, concentrated in the eastern region. This fertile land between the Alleghenies and Mississippi provided ideal living conditions. These environmental advantages proved crucial for democratic development. Scholar Carl Wittfogel's hydraulic despotism theory suggests frequent floods foster authoritarianism. China exemplifies this pattern through its historical water management challenges. Constant flood control demands strong, centralized governance, creating authoritarian tendencies. In contrast, America's natural blessings facilitated democratic growth. The second factor involves demographic composition. Early settlers shared similar backgrounds, predominantly literate Puritans, with moderate education. Family-based migration created stable communities, receptive to egalitarian principles. Third, geopolitical circumstances proved sparse northern neighbors and weaker southern states allowed unimpeded democratic development. This isolation proved vital contrast with France's revolutionary experience. Napoleon's exile and Bourbon restoration demonstrate external interference consequences. Following Russia's October Revolution, European powers attempted military intervention, nearly thwarting its success. Clearly, developing independent political systems in hostile environments proves extremely challenging. America enjoyed uniquely favorable conditions in this regard. Next, let's examine the concrete components of American democracy. First, let's explore the multifaceted dimensions of American democracy as analyzed by Tocqueville. The fundamental principle of American democracy, as defined in this work, is equality. As mentioned earlier, early settlers shared remarkable similarity in education, religion, and wealth. This inherent equality naturally fostered political systems advocating egalitarianism. America's equal inheritance distribution prevented wealth disparity among siblings, further promoting equality. American equality encompasses both material reality and perceived social standing. An ordinary citizen and state governor share equal dignity despite differing authority. Officials don't condescend to citizens, nor do citizens grovel before officials. This perceived equality persists despite modern wealth disparities in America. The American dream embodies this ethos that anyone can achieve success through hard work. Many recall Will Smith's portrayal in the film adaptation of this ideal. In The Pursuit of Happiness, the protagonist maintains determination through homelessness, ultimately achieving success. This cinematic representation exemplifies America's enduring equality narrative. Contrastingly, Europe maintained rigid hierarchies from monarchs to commoners during this period. The emerging bourgeoisie possessed wealth but lacked corresponding rights and social status, driving their alliance with commoners in revolutionary efforts. The French Revolution exemplifies this dynamic perfectly. The Third Estate, predominantly bourgeois, spearheaded parliamentary challenges to the monarchy, while masses fueled street uprisings. Equality implementation became central to revolutionary objectives. Second, democracy inherently involves electoral process. In America, ubiquitous elections embody popular sovereignty. Universal suffrage developed gradually through historical progression. Pre-independence, colonies restricted voting through property qualifications. Only taxpayers meeting minimum thresholds could participate. Northern colonies set lower thresholds than aristocratic southern regions. Equal inheritance laws, post-independence, accelerated democratic ideals. Maryland, originally landed gentry territory, pioneered universal suffrage implementation. By Tocqueville's era, popular elections became fundamental American doctrine. Contrastingly, European monarchies maintained divinite governance structures. Postone, 1789. France's parliamentary systems paled compared to American electoral scope. Third, America's federalism developed bottom-up. Unlike Europe's top-down systems, European political participation varied drastically across social strata. America reversed this pattern. Townships preceded counties, states followed, then federal government. By 1650, Eastern townships already practice self-governance through participatory democracy. Complete townships collectively form counties. Multiple counties then unite into semi-autonomous colonies, later becoming states. The original United States emerged from 13 voluntarily united colonies. The term United States reflects this federated structure. Observing township governance reveals majority of American democracy's mechanics. Townships handle minor affairs through elected committees, major decisions through town meetings, with 19 administrative departments. Residents staff these departments, their compensation tied to workload. This embodies Lincoln's principle: government of, by, and for the people. Does replicating this system guarantee national prosperity? The answer is decidedly negative. Tocqueville clarifies American democracy isn't universal template. Nations should develop democracy suited to their unique conditions. Now, to our second question. What inherent risks exist in American democracy? Tocqueville contrasts American democracy with British aristocracy in Volume 1. First, democratic legislation may not yield optimal outcomes. American laws better reflect popular will, but, as Proverb states, truth often resides with the minority. British aristocracy produced laws demonstrated greater sophistication, evident in British civil servants' superior qualifications versus American counterparts. Second, electoral systems risk majority tyranny. Majority rule, elections, priority majority interests over universal prosperity. Under this system, the majority in America wields near unlimited power as a collective entity. Majority-rule democracy inherently creates legislative instability due to shifting public opinion. This majority-dominated system inevitably harms minority groups. Tocqueville termed this negative effect tyranny of the majority. The LGBTQ+ community's experience exemplifies this phenomenon. Though America pioneered LGBTQ+ advocacy with Henry Gerber's 1924 organization, majority rule delayed marriage equality until 2015 nationwide. Tocqueville cautions against idealizing American democracy. He observed, "Democracy gives equality and prosperity, not national strength or cultural refinement." Third danger, equality paradoxically enables authoritarianism. American equality creates remarkable social homogeneity. Citizens share similar resources and status. This fosters isolated individualism under democratic systems. Academics term this condition social atomization. Disconnected individuals enable state power consolidate. Like the Chinese parable, single chopsticks break easily, bundled ones withstand force. Equality-induced atomization resembles scattered individual. Isolated citizens become powerless against centralized states. Disorganized individuals cannot prevent authoritarian consolidation. Introducing American-style equality, democracy might paradoxically strengthen monarchical power in traditional European states. This equality comes at severe cost to freedom, far from Tocqueville's ideal political state. How then to address these democratic shortcomings? Let's examine institutional safeguards. 3 primary measures exist. First, the jury system. Hong Kong courtroom juries in films reflect their British colonial origins. America expanded this jury system significantly. The 2015 Chinese film, 12 Citizens, adapted America's 12 Angry Men, 1957. This remake illustrates American jury system principles. The film's 12 jurors represent diverse social backgrounds and education levels. Each juror holds equal voting power, despite differences. Tocqueville recognized this crucial political function. The jury system embodies popular sovereignty while educating citizens and governance. Second safeguard, preventing administrative centralization. Clear federal-state division prevents overpowerful central government. Central government handles major affairs. States' localities manage chiu. As Tocqueville noted, America has governmental centralization without administrative centralization. While the central government holds significant power, its jurisdiction remains limited, with most operational authority dispersed among local governments. The federal government never manages secondary affairs, nor shows intention to do so. States retain substantial autonomy in these matters. For instance, the Constitution prohibits altering state boundaries without state consent. Federal intervention in state affairs only occurs at state request during internal conflicts. States maintain parallel governance rights under constitutional constraints. Though majority tyranny exists, decentralized power limits its scope to major national issues. Local governments and citizens retain substantial freedom in daily affairs. This federal balance grants America both national strength and local liberties, a rare achievement. Third safeguard, leveraging associational traditions for checks and balances. Social atomization creates power imbalance between state and individuals. Intermediate institutions bridge this gap between citizen and government. Historically, China's gentry class fulfilled this role below county level. In America, press and civic organizations serve as intermediate powers. Voluntary associations transform scattered individuals into collective forces. Like bundled chopsticks, organized groups resist authoritarian pressure. America's rich associational life counters equality-induced fragmentation, checking state power. The symbiotic relationship between press and civic organizations forms two sides of the same coin. Associations naturally require communication channels with the public. Media outlets serve as vital platforms for organizations to voice ideas and connect with citizens. Prominent American publications like the New York Times, Middle Class, Intellectual Readership, and Wall Street Journal, Economic, Political elites demonstrate this diversity. These newspapers cultivate distinct communities with differing educational, political, and social backgrounds. Beyond community building, media serves as crucial government watchdog. The First Amendment explicitly prohibits Congress from making laws restricting press freedom or religious practice. It further safeguards rights to peaceful assembly and petitioning government. This constitutional framework establishes press as fourth estate balancing government powers. With this concludes our book overview. Let's briefly recapitulate key points. We first examined Tocqueville's historical context and America's unique democratic foundations. 3 core aspects define American democracy. 1. Egalitarian ethos. 2. Extensive electoral systems. 3. Bottom-up federal structure. Potential risks include majority tyranny, legislative instability, and state empowerment through social atomization. Institutional safeguards, jury systems, federal-state power division, and vibrant civil society organizations. Even today, American democracy remains crucial reference for nations developing political systems. Tocqueville's analysis of freedom, equality paradoxes remains profoundly relevant today. Allow me to conclude with Tocqueville's own words from this work. Nations must choose whether equality brings liberty or servitude, civilization or barbarism, prosperity or ruin.
This concludes our exploration. Find keynotes below. Until tomorrow.